Hello and welcome to Inderes TV. Earnings season has started and Wärtsilä published its Q1 result today. Next we're going to talk about with the company CAO Håkan Agnevall about the Wärtsilä situation. Hi Håkan.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. Thanks for inviting me here to Salmisaari.
It's great to have you here.
Let's start with the performance, Wärtsilä's performance in Q1. How would you sum up that?
No, I think the key message is that we are improving our profitability and we have a very strong service growth. And I think these are the two key elements. Order intake overall is up 26%, so quite significantly. And sales is also growing. So we are moving in the right direction, I would say. The major driver is services. And when we talk about services, we have a strategy calling moving up the service value ladder.
Yes.
And that is very much, this ladder that we talk about is the spare parts and service hours. That's the first step. Second part, service agreement. Third part, retrofits, upgrading technology. And fourth part is the performance-based agreements where we make commitments and share ups and downsides. And basically the concept is that we transform customers and move customers up this ladder from transactional to service agreements, from service to retrofit, etc. And it brings value to our customers. We see, for instance, our agreement business is growing quite significantly now, and the renewal rate is above 90%, both on the energy side and the marine power side. So, which for me is a proof point that customers see that these agreements creates value. So the growth in service is very much about moving up the service value ladder, and also, of course, there's a relatively high utilization of equipment overall.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I think that you see a lot of upside potential in service business still.
I mean, there is definitely possibilities to grow, and that is one of the key pillars of our strategy to continue to grow the service business.
Yes. Can you somehow open the share of orders remain the current order backlog where inflation hasn't yet been fully priced in?
Well, it is priced in, but it's costed in.
Yes.
And then, I mean, we went in, as we have communicated before, we entered this year with now we have about 6 billion plus order backlog, but a part of that order backlog, there is 1.2 billion that is has been heavily affected by cost inflation. And this will take at least to the end of the Q3 to kind of work through and work out. So that is it's a headwind, you could say, in our profitability journey.
Yes. Then go to marine side. Wärtsilä is profiled in cruisers, gas carriers and special vessels. Is there still a segment where you would like to be more strongly involved or segment where you would like to reduce your dependency?
No, I think we are in most segments. And I think that the answer is actually decarbonization. Because with decarbonization, our customers, they are looking on how to apply with the new CII index. They are implemented this year. It's the new IMO regulation. And where if you own a vessel, you need to reduce the CO2 emission year by year. And this is where we have a lot of dialogue with different customers. And we have this saying, we talked about this, green is not black or white. There are no single simple solutions. So, if you're in cruise, it's one solution. If you're in merchant or if you're in gas, it's different solutions. And I think Wärtsilä can really play a key role to be a spokespartner with our customer. And the engine that we have and some of the digital technologies, etc., it's very scalable. We can offer our solutions with different fuels. So that's why we will benefit tremendously from the decarbonization. We can support our customers. We can be the technology partner in their forward journey, and we can use our own Lego box of engines and digital solutions to provide that at an affordable cost and price.
Yes. What slows down this transition of shipping companies to these new fuels?
I mean, we need to recognize that this is marine side, but also energy side is highly capital intensive. I mean, once if you want to buy a gas carrier today, you have to pay probably $250 million. And it's the asset lifetime is 20, 30, 40 years. So once you made the investment, you really need to carefully think through how am I going to make the decarbonization journey. And nobody wants to be stuck with stranded asset. You don't scrap a 10-year-old vessel. I mean, it's such a value destruction. And that is making the whole industry slowing down. The other element is, of course, that the regulatory space led by IMO. I mean, IMO is an international organization. It's very slow moving because it caters to all its members. So I think that this slows down the development. What really accelerates the development, I would say that there are now regional framework. We all know about the EU Fit for 55. I mean, EU is now clearly bringing in the maritime industry into the carbon tax regime. And that I think will give it a further push. And we talked about that also. We see a small but growing market of green transport, driven by lifestyle companies like IKEA, but also driven by industrial companies that have made pledges to reduce their carbon emission, and then they need to go through their value chain. They need to look at transport. So they are driving forces for green transport as we go forward. Still small, but it will grow.
Yes, step by step. Let's talk about energy storage business. Order intake was really up there. So how does Wärtsilä differ in that business from its top competitors, Fluence and Tesla?
Yeah, so I would say we are a power system company. I mean, we have a very strong legacy there. And so it means that we really have a deep perspective on both power generation and power transmission. And we kind of implement that knowledge and experience in our GEMS digital platform, which we use for power system optimization, because you can hook up a battery, but that's one step. But the next step is really to make sure that you have thermal generation, gas turbines or reciprocating engines, you have a wind farm, you have a solar farm. How do you optimize the operation of this coming together for the lowest overall energy cost and also for the highest uptime reliability? And this is where we use our power system knowledge, our digital platform in GEMS. And this is where we want to differentiate. Another area where we want to differentiate is this, being a credible partner that delivers on time and with the right quality, because growth in the industry is significant, and we come with a strong, project execution heritage, and we really want to make sure that we deliver on time, and this is what some of our key customers tells us, that they feel comfortable working with us because commitment, we deliver, and just a few days ago we came out with the orders. It was not included in Q1 because it came after the closing the quarter, but it's still public information. We just got our first gigawatt hour order from Origin in Australia, and I think that is one of the proof points that for big projects and big installations we have built the credibility with our customers. Then the third differentiator, I think we are one of the leaders in the security and safety of the whole thermal design, because there has been fires, etc. But so far we have not experienced any fires in our installation.
That's good to hear. Final question: what kind of profitability challenge is there when Wärtsilä sales mix is changing a bit when your equipment sales increases?
Well, I mean, profitability on equipment is normally lower than on services. That's a simple answer. Now, I mean, this quarter we had a kind of 50-50% mix, and let's see. We haven't communicated where we think the mix will be this year. Normally, I would say it's 50% plus minus 5%. So it's still a little bit early. We are definitely seeing growth both in new build and in service, and you can see this. I mean, we have growth in both of these disciplines, and of course they come together. I mean, you cannot have one without the other.
Yeah, that was my final question. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot. Nice to be here.